Children are pretty much the same today as they were 2,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. Humans are humans are humans. However, we are largely shaped and influenced by the technology and the culture around us. The internet is certainly one of those current challenges. In the 1940s, in much of the world, people were saying comic books were destroying the brains of children around the world. Then it became the cartoons on TV and the silly children's shows. Now it's the stuff that children do on the internet. Now they got tablets and smartphones, and they're sitting in their cars, and they're sitting in restaurants, and they're not interacting with their parents or with the other people at the table. They're just sitting there. Everyone's on their digital device. Today, they're so pernicious. Almost everyone has these kinds of devices, and children spend a great deal of time on them. This is very addictive, and it can be very destructive. They can be very challenging to young children's development in a lot of ways. In one way, because by the time a child is 10, if she's got access to a digital device, the odds are overwhelming that she's going to encounter pornography. They're going to learn things that you probably would prefer they not learn. But we really want children to use their muscles, to be outside, to discover that not everything is pre-designed entertainment. We want them to learn how to make their own entertainment, to play children's games, to run, to climb, to go in the woods, to ideally know where their food comes from. But as much as we can, we want them to know how the city works. For example, where does that water come from in your house? Where does the toilet, where's it go? What's going on there? We don't need to indoctrinate kids. We don't need to give them right answers. What we need to do is teach them to ask questions and to try to learn how to learn. Social media is dangerous for children for so many reasons. One, it encourages them to sit in their room and be isolated from real people. They think they're relating to people by their online posts, but in reality, they're usually not. They're trying to present a false image of who they are and how incredibly wonderful their lives are, and they're usually comparing themselves and their bodies, and they feel fat, or they feel not sexy enough, or they don't feel bright enough, or their parents don't take them to places that are as fun. And usually it is not the showing of intimate relationships among humans in a way that's positive. It's often violent, it's often degrading, it's often ugly. First 6 years of life are the foundation for everything that's going to happen afterwards. Many times kids grow up doubting themselves, and what we want to do is help kids to feel that they have value for who they are. It doesn't mean that anything they do is good. There are some things kids do that they shouldn't do. But we want to teach kids that they belong in this world, that they have something positive to contribute, that their minds have value, that their ideas have value. It doesn't mean everything they say or write or do is good, but we really want to teach them that the way you become a great adult is by being a great child. So Montessori children are not always angels, but they're really interesting human beings, and they're really, really interesting.